I think you'll be amazed at what quality you can get from ChatGPT in writing an article, a long article, if you do it right. And that's what I'm covering here today. Why would you want this? Well, as a business owner, you're trying to prepare articles for publications, for your website, perhaps social media. Maybe you're preparing a speech. Whatever the purpose is where you're creating a long article, if you just type in to ChatGPT, hey, write me an article on X with whatever topic you want, it's not great. And so a lot of people have concluded that ChatGPT just can't do the job. But you, in fact, just need to give it the right prompts. So I've spent a lot of time, because it's a hobby of mine, to understand AI and prompt engineering. And I thought I'd share a quick and easy way to generate high quality articles using ChatGPT. So, and it's a series of prompts, and I'll kind of walk you through it. There are also some optional sections here, but I can do this in about 10 minutes. In fact, it might even be closer to 7 minutes. But this video will be a little longer because I'm going to explain how to do some things and what some options are. I'm Aaron Hall, an attorney for business owners and entrepreneurial companies, and I do educational videos like this to help business owners establish a successful company and enjoy the rewards of providing great value to customers and a great place for employees. It all starts with having a good company, and in this case, it's just a little technique of using ChatGPT to write great articles. So here we go. First, you need to log on to ChatGPT. So I'm going to do this right here. Now, if you have GPT-4, which is the more advanced version of ChatGPT, you want to use that. It costs $20 a month right now for a subscription, which I pay, but it provides a little higher quality, a little more detail, a more refined understanding of the subject matter, and it kind of makes sense because it's trained on a lot more data. So it's kind of like, I think of ChatGPT, or I'm sorry, I think of GPT 3.5 as asking like a college freshman something, and asking GPT-4 like asking a college senior something. They've just been exposed to more knowledge and concepts, and they can speak at a little deeper level for whatever topic you've asked them about. They still don't have real-world experience, probably. They're not the world's expert in something, but there's a deeper exposure with GPT-4. So think of it kind of like that. There's just more data that's been used to train GPT-4, just like there's more data that a college senior has been exposed to. So if you have it, use GPT-4. It's $20 a month, and if you're using it a lot like I do, it's a very inexpensive tool. All right, but you could do it in GPT 3.5 if needed. All right, let's begin entering the prompts. So first, we want to just start brainstorming this topic. And more importantly, we want ChatGPT to become familiar with the topic we are working with. Why? Because that puts it in ChatGPT's short-term memory. ChatGPT has access to the knowledge or the learning that it's done, which helps it predict the next likely word. But we want to get into its short-term memory the universe of general concepts that we're writing about. So that's really easy. You just put in this prompt, what are terms and concepts related to, and then we enter whatever your topic is. So I'm going to work on a topic that's totally unrelated to me. I'm a business attorney in Minnesota, but let's do domestic assault charges in Colorado. So I don't know criminal law, and I certainly don't know Colorado law. So we'll get that running. And here ChatGPT is just putting together a nice little list. Now what I'm going to do is start working on my next prompt. And in this case, I want to outline a comprehensive blog article by let's say a Colorado criminal defense attorney on the topic of, and here we're going to paste in there the topic we're working with, domestic assault charges in Colorado. We don't want it to do an introduction section because that's repetitious. It's going to duplicate or give a preview of everything to come. I find that that isn't helpful. I can add that at the end if needed. Likewise, a conclusion section is just a repetition of what's already been in there. Now I want it to use headings levels. So like the title is heading 1. The level 2 is going to be the headings in the article, and then level 3 is going to be subheadings, and then level 4 is going to be what you might call subheadings. And then we want it to output it in code. That makes it very easy to paste later. It just puts it into a nice little box, which you'll see. And then markdown is a format that computers can read well and humans can read. So for example, a heading of level 2 would have 2 number signs before it. You'll see what that means here. So with all of this initial brainstorm in its short-term memory, now we can move over to prompt number 2, prepare the outline. So it's going to use that short-term memory here to prepare the outline. There are options to enhance that by adding additional topics. So as it's preparing the outline, you can see here we have the first heading, and then we have a subheading here. Subheadings are preceded by 3 number signs. And then we have the second heading, which is legal procedures and consequences. Now, by the way, ChatGPT does well with general concepts that are written written about a lot on the internet. ChatGPT struggles with legal technical issues, especially that aren't written a lot on the internet. It struggles with scientific knowledge that might be in scientific journals behind paywalls or not accessible for free to the general public. You have to register or log in to see those. ChatGPT wasn't trained on that. And so you're going to get the best results with general topics and we're not talking today about how to get into and incorporate technical information. If you wanted to do that, it's fairly simple. I'll just give you a little teaser. The way to do it is you paste that information from an article in here so ChatGPT has it in its short-term memory, and then you can ask ChatGPT to write about that or integrate that into the article you're writing with the outline structure that you have. So pasting it in here is one way to do it. Another way to do it is with plugins, but we're not going to get into that today. So we're just going to try to get a really good first draft of an article on all these topics. Now, you may be looking at this, and by the way, see how I can just copy the code? That's the benefit of having ChatGPT write this in code. I said output the outline in code, and now we get this black box. So it makes it really easy just to copy text from there. And then markdown is like these little number signs here, and there are going to be some other little indications as we go on. But all right, so we have a decent outline here, I assume. Let's take a look at the first option here. If you want to ask ChatGPT to just enhance this whole thing, we'll add this prompt down here. So let's get this started so it can be running. I'll explain what the prompt is doing. It says make sure the outline above is comprehensive. Add any missing items. Output the entire outline again with newly added items. Bold and underline all of your additions. So we'll see here. I'm actually not seeing any bold or underlines so far. And by the way, this particular request to lengthen the entire article doesn't necessarily work great. What works better is the next step, which is where ChatGPT is asked to do it on a section by section basis. But I am actually seeing here, here's a new entry. The asterisks here indicate bold, and then you can see underline on both sides. So that's just in markdown how this is designated. So we are getting a few additional sections here. And that's nice to see. All right, so let's just say provide the same outline, but remove the bold and underline. Keep those sections though. Let's make sure that worked properly. So what I want to make sure is under mandatory arrest, we have rights of the accused during arrest. So I can just copy that to the clipboard and see if it comes up. Oh yeah, there it is. Rights of the accused during arrest. Great. So this is just giving us a nice outline, which we're going to come back to a number of times here. All right, so the next option here is to ask it to enhance each section. And so, for example, you would say for section blank, so 1 of the outline, let's just give this a try. By the way, you can just use this as needed, so you might look through this and go, okay, what do I want to enhance here? What if we said, how about under practical tips? There we go. So we could just say, instead of section number, say, for the section of the outline above, add additional topics that should be included. And I'm going to get rid of this bold and underline all of your additions because I don't care to see that right now. So we're just going to use this as a little quick example. All right. So it's providing the same outline again, but it's going to enhance the practical tips for those facing charges. You could do this for every single section if you wanted, and it would make your outline expand. But it starts getting into details that may not be relevant, because the first time ChatGPT went through, it got the big concepts. And what you're doing here is saying, I want more concepts, I want more concepts. And so it starts getting less and less relevant as it reaches for more concepts to integrate. So use your discretion on how much you want to use that. That's for each section that you want to enhance. This next outline is very similar, but what we're going to do is we are going to first insert the current outline here, because ChatGPT starts to forget stuff that's way up on top. So we're going to insert the current outline again. So to do that, I just copy from there and paste it. Hit Shift Enter to go down without actually hitting the Enter button here. And then we're going to say, in the outline above, add key talking points below each section, or below each heading. Avoid an introduction section and conclusion, because again, we don't want to have these conclusory paragraphs. I'll put the entire outline again with newly added items. I'm not actually going to ask it to bold and underline, because then we have to go through and remove those afterwards. We'll just assume it does it, and then outputting code and markdown. So as you can see, we have headings here right now and little dashes, but we're telling it one more way to enhance this. before we go write the article. Again, this is not necessary, but as you can see, we are going to get a long structure of what we want ChatGPT to use to write this article. All of these are optional sections. I find most topics don't actually need all of these optional sections to lengthen the article. But if you really want to get detailed and have a lengthy article, this is the way to do it. This final step now is to write the article. And we want to insert the current outline here. So this now is the current outline. It's still writing it. So we'll come back to that. We'll insert that in a moment. And then here's the next prompt we're going to use. Using the first section of the outline above, write the first section of a blog article written by and then we insert the expert's name here. And so in this, I think we're going to say Colorado criminal defense attorney. And then we'll tell ChatGPT, hey, you are a Colorado criminal defense attorney. Your expertise is, let's say, defending people charged with, and what's the topic we're writing about here? Domestic assault charges in Colorado. So drop that in there. The intended audience of the article is people charged with domestic assault in Colorado. All right, and we're going to start out here with the first section, and we'll change that over here. So we're saying using the above outline, write the first section of a blog article written by a Colorado criminal defense attorney, and then we proceed here. All right, let's start. Oh, it says here continue generating. So it looks like it stopped because it ran out of space. All right, so we're going to tell it, hey, keep going. We want the whole thing. That can come up from time to time. When you have used these optional sections here to lengthen the outline can get pretty long, and ChatGPT can struggle with how long it is. Let's just make sure. So it's ending with financial question or considerations. Let's make sure that that is where it should end. Oh yeah. So the last time we worked on the outline. The last version of the outline was financial considerations, and there were 3 subpoints. But then when we gave it the prompt of add key talking points, I'm guessing it's coming up with more than 3 subpoints under financial considerations. All right, so under financial considerations, we have the 3 subpoints, and then we have a talking point under that. So in this example, fee structures and transparency is the talking point. All right, so now it is time to get to writing. And ChatGPT has an output limit each prompt. So if you really want a long article, you could chunk this into just little pieces at a time. So you could say, for the section titled blank, write a blog article, or write a section of a blog article. What I'm going to do is just focus on, I think this is going to be a really long article, so I'm just going to focus on these subheadings here. So for this first section, or you could say for the section titled Understanding Domestic Assault Charges in Colorado, or you could say for the first heading or subheading, or I guess this is called heading level 2, but ChatGPT is smart enough, it'll be able to handle this. So let's copy the entire outline that it's produced so far. And I hit enter. So here's what it looks like. First, we have the whole outline coming in. I just pasted that from above. And then, at the very end, we have our prompt using the first section of the outline above. Now, I actually should have had a little space there, but that's fine. Okay, ChatGPT is now writing a blog article for this section right here. And we can see this, and by the way, we can note that it should end at parents of the same child. So let's see how it's doing here. All right, it's writing. And while that's writing, we can get our next prompt ready. And this time I'm going to change it to using the second section. I'm going to put all that on the clipboard so it's ready to go for next time. All right, here we go. Parents of the same child. So that ended at the proper spot. Great. So now we're giving the same prompt again, or the same outline, I should say. But the only difference with this prompt compared to the last one is we're saying using the second section of the outline above, write the second section of a blog article. All right. So here ChatGPT now gets to work on the second one. And while that second section is being written, I can paste this in and get ready for it to work on the third one. ChatGPT is a little bit slow, especially when it comes to GPT-4. So we just need to let it finish writing. Keep an eye on this little stop generating thing. We don't want it to stop, but if that turns into a continue, then we tell ChatGPT, hey, keep going, finish the task. And what happens there, sometimes it just stops because it runs into a word limit, essentially, for a single response, and it wants approval to keep going. So, big picture here, you can see that ChatGPT is writing up section by section. And when you do it this way, rather than all at once, ChatGPT produces a more comprehensive and longer article. If you ask it to do it all at once, it doesn't go to the same level of detail and carefulness that it would if you give it direction for each section. Okay, so it's come to the end. It ended at impact of previous convictions. And let's just go up into our little outline here. So we have heading number 1 is understanding domestic assault. Heading number 2 is legal procedures and consequences. So it should end at contesting, it should end at impact of previous convictions. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. Impact of previous convictions is where it ended. Under enhanced penalties. Let's just see where that's at. So we're going to go look for the most recent heading. Okay, that is correct. So previous convictions and their impact was the last subheading we asked it to write about. The next heading or section it's going to write about is additional considerations. And then, by the way, we'll have practical tips and that will be the end. So let's put this in here. We're now going, so there are a total of 4 sections here. We're now prompting ChatGPT to write about the 3rd section. And so we're just following this final step here, especially repeat this for each section. So we're now on the 3rd section. So to recap where we are, we keep putting into ChatGPT's short-term memory the entire current outline. So that was the final version of the outline that had talking points in it. And then we're entering this prompt. And we just keep changing this little section here for whichever one we're on. So right now it's writing about the 3rd section. We're going to get it ready to write the 4th section. And you might say, hey, how is it that I just have that in the clipboard every time? Well, it's the exact same prompt I used last time, but I'm switching it from 3rd to 4th. We'll let it ChatGPT finish up writing. Let's get ready now, because now that it's mostly done, we will be able to put this into a new blog post. I'll show you what that looks like here. Okay, so ChatGPT finished section 3. Now we're going to do the final section. We'll get it working on that, or the 4th section. Okay, so let's start moving stuff over. In fact, so let's start with, what is the title of this whole thing? We can just say, let's say domestic assault charges in Colorado. Okay, and now we need to bring up a text editor to start pasting all of this stuff in here. So I've got a little text editor right here. And we're going to start pasting from the first section it wrote. So here, as I said, using the 2nd section, let's go to the one above that. Okay, here's where I said using the first section of the outline above, write the first section of a blog article. All right, so copy that. I just click that little box there and paste it to the text box. Now we go down, get ready to do the next one. Scroll down here to the next code box. Here it is. Copy code, paste. Go to the end. Now we're going to the, I'm going to ask it about the, or going to the prompt where I asked it about the 3rd section, which is right here. Say copy code, paste. And now let's see if it's done with the 4th and final section. Yes, it is. Great. Copy code, paste. All right, so now we have this huge article here. By the way, how many words is this? (2,571 words, minus, I think, some of these heading symbols here, so maybe not, but that's a lengthy article. So what do we do with this? We go into WordPress, and you need to be in the block editor. So do whatever you need to do in order to have the block editor showing. And when the block editor is showing, then when you go to paste in here all of this text in markdown format, it will put it into the format you need. So here we go. You can see it's no longer in markdown format. Understanding domestic assault charges in Colorado is now an H2 tag. Definition of domestic assault in Colorado is now an H3 tag. So here we have an incredible first draft of a blog article ready to go. I recommend that you read through it, make sure it's accurate. ChatGPT does a great job with speaking in a convincing manner, using good grammar and spelling, but sometimes it hallucinates or it puts information in there that's not quite accurate. But once you get going with this, you can create a 2,500 word article in 5 to 10 minutes. And then your only job is to review it, make any changes or delete any sections that you don't think are helpful, and publish. So it is a very quick process. Whether you are creating a blog article, an article for a publication, or long writing for any purpose. For example, an attorney might use this as a first draft and then start adding, when you go through and you review the different lines, you might add case citations for each assertion and confirm that the assertion is backed up by the case. ChatGPT can't handle case citations or really any scientific citations right now. But this gives you an excellent organized first draft for a lot of different types of papers. Obviously, you can see why colleges are concerned students could use ChatGPT to write an essay, because this is extraordinary information. And note that I didn't give ChatGPT any outside knowledge. Everything was created from within its existing learning. If you wanted to add technical information, you would simply paste it in there with the section that you're asking it to write. So instead of saying, or when you ask it to write a section of the outline, you would say, include the following information, or take into consideration the following information, and then paste in there other information you want it to include in that article. That's one way of incorporating information from outside of ChatGPT into your article. I'm not dealing with copyright issues here or plagiarism issues here. I'm assuming you have the rights to use whatever you're using. Maybe you're incorporating your own information or data. But copyright and plagiarism is a topic outside the scope of this. If you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe. I talk about legal and business best practices and answer a lot of questions from business owners to help you grow your business to create a good company and a good life. Have a great day.